Take an ordinary home, gut it, rebuild it to 1900 specs. Call in experts.
This bathroom is going to be largely filled by the cast iron bath, and we're not going to have a toilet in here. That's outside down the yard.
So that every detail is perfect. Audition families.
Hello, we're the Lee family.
We are the Bowler family.
We are the Takahashi family.
Choose one.
Oh no, I'm shaking. Sorry.
And send them back 100 years to live exactly as they would have in 1900.
Oh my God.
But what do you think?
Fantastic. Beautiful. It feels like a real home. It doesn't feel like a museum or something that's been artificially put together. It's so much. Oh, I can live here.
Then find out what it was really like.
Smells and what? I'm not looking at it.
Fed up being dirty, smelly, and greasy, and skanky. I want to go home.
The 1900 House was made possible by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
From the outside, this house looks like any other London suburban home. Inside, it's unique. All traces of the 20th century have been removed. This is not a film set or a museum. It's a real house, equipped as it would have been in the year 1900. A modern family is coming to live here for 3 months. No central heating, no television, not even electricity. They will be the subjects of an experiment to test how domestic life has changed in 100 years.
Your #1 talk station, Talk Radio.
Now then, who hasn't dreamt of giving up the stresses and the strains of modern life and going back to the good old days? We're teaming up with Channel 4 to enable you to have the chance to give up the modern life and live in a Victorian house of absolutely turn-of-the-century conditions. We're looking for an average British family to take part in this extraordinary social experiment.
Work began 6 months before the family were due to move in. To oversee the project, we enlisted Victorian expert and curator of living museums, Daru Rook.
Well, this is a very different project to the kind of things I do in my working day. There I recreate rooms from the past for people to experience or see what life was like in years gone by. But these room sets are really just that, displays to give an impression of the past. Here what we're doing is a unique thing, a new thing. We're creating a kind of time machine that will take our family back to 1900. It's a period that's within living memory, it's true, but it will seem as strange to them as a Roman encampment might do.
First, Daru must find a typical 1900 house. The Victorian era saw the growth of the middle class, with money to spend on new homes. 4 million were built in England. In America, the rates of home ownership doubled. We're focusing our search on South London, in the shadow of the Millennium Dome. At the same time, the search begins to find a typical modern family.
Hello, we're the Lee family.
We are the Bowler family.
We are the Takahashi family.
Within days, over 50 families have volunteered, all eager for a taste of Victorian life.
We like to live in the 1900 house because I'd like to see Mum work really hard.
I want to live in the Victorian house because I want to eat porridge.
Because we live in a Victorian house and we'd just like to see what it's like to live in a house when it was first built with all the old-fashioned appliances and none of the electricity and the amenities, and what it's like for a 1900 woman to have to cook on a range.
Hello, we're the Malloy family.
So far, 30 homes in the London Borough of Greenwich have been visited and rejected for the 1900 house. We're being guided by a map created in 1890 by a social reformer named Charles Booth. As part of his drive to improve conditions in poor areas, he created the map and marked every street in London according to its wealth and status. Directed by his research, we are looking only at roads defined as fairly comfortable, good ordinary earnings.
Looks fairly authentic.
On Elliscombe Road, Daru and project architect Peter Riddington find a promising house, a home of the period with 3 good-sized bedrooms.
Yeah, I think this is going to be perfect for your needs. Lovely period house, built in about 1890.
Ooh, I don't like the look of that. Has it been flats?
Yeah, it was converted into flats in the 1960s.
Not quite the grandeur of its early days by the looks of things. Still, the glass is good, isn't it? It's kind of glamour on a budget, I suppose.
Yes.
And the painted number's beautiful too.
Very pretty.
When I first saw the house, I discovered that it had been converted into flats, and very, very crudely, and often that means that all the historic detail has been ripped out. So this would have been the front room then, I guess. Oh, wow.
This bedroom was once the back parlour. The original kitchen is now a dining room. The washroom or scullery is now the kitchen. At the back, a modern bathroom extension was added in the 1970s. The second floor is in a similar state. What's discouraged other buyers is that very little money has been spent to modernize the house. But that's to our advantage.
Once we started peeling back the layers, we found all sorts of evidence to show what the house had really been like at the turn of the century.
A whitewash.
Well, this is where the range used to be, but what's under here then?
Oh, let's have a look, shall we?
Oh, look at that. A few Edwardian tiles. Now. Now these tiles are what would have formed the hearth. The most exciting bit was when we opened the old laundry cupboard. Look at that! And there preserved were pieces of the old wallpaper and the marbled skirting boards that had been put in when the house was new in the 1890s. That's fantastic. That'll be great to reproduce. How sombre. It's going to look like a second-rate funeral director's. That's wonderful. That makes it. I think it's absolutely right for the project because it's right in scale and it has the right amount of elements from the past surviving within it. We've got things like original parts of the gas lighting system, for example. Normally those were ripped out long ago. The ceiling roses, the plasterwork, the woodwork, it's all there under a layer of plasterboard and card. It can be revealed. So for 1900, it's bang on.
Today, the house costs over $200,000. In 1900, it sold for $1,500. Built by local real estate speculator Jack Ellis, the houses of Elliscombe Road were erected on sand pits. They're typical of the era. They had technology that revolutionized the lives of the occupants. Sewers and running water were laid in the area in 1875. Gas lit the streets and homes from 1880 until electricity arrived in the 1920s. The new residents were clerks, shopkeepers, and teachers who were not wealthy but could afford a better life. After a week, over 100 applications have come in, but it's clear that some wouldn't last 3 months.
I would miss my car, my stereo, my television, my PlayStation, my mobile, my drum kit, the Litten tree, and reality.
I want to live in the 1900 house as long as I can use my makeup and my hairdryer, have a nice warm bath to myself and get my roots done.
If we go more than 2 weeks without a proper curry, I mean a sit-down Indian proper curry, then we become very irritable, don't we?
Others look ready for the part.
Hi, we're the Griffiths family, and we want to live in the 1900 house because
we seem to be so busy, even with all the machines to help us in this day and age. It'd be fascinating to find out how they coped without them.
I also quite like the idea of being a Victorian father and sitting in my chair whilst my good wife waits on me.
I'm Stefan and I'm 10 and I've made a model of the parlour in a Victorian house in 1900.
Many see the experience as a chance to bring their family closer together. But psychotherapist Judith Lusk, who'll help make the selection, is not so sure.
I think there are going to be a lot of stresses on any family. Probably one of the biggest ones is going to be spending a lot of time together, because I think in modern times we use loads of things to kind of get away from the family and dilute relationships, whether it's television, computer, hobbies, going out, and that just is not going to be there. So I think that's going to be quite an intense stress.
At 50 Elliscombe Road, the contractors have arrived. With 4 months to go, their first job is to strip out all traces of the last 100 years. We're using builders who are specialists in historic restoration. Although it's a big job, it's the smallest house they've done. Foreman George Cox is used to grander surroundings.
Of all the places I've worked in some fabulous places, the Palace of Westminster, Buckingham Palace, Mansion House.
That's the old dress-up piece.
Yeah, it's got a lot going for it, because it reminds you of your childhood.
Original? Yeah, and the old original dresser, the top of the
It makes me think of so much of how much life has changed. The era of fires has gone. This is why so many people, in my opinion, will see so much in this, what we're doing here.
Everything added in the last 100 years has to go, even the insulation in the attic.
Right, here we are. We've arrived at a very historic moment. This is the last piece of evidence of the previous owner, an old lampshade. Now going on to the skip.
The difficult task is now ahead of us, which is getting the right fixtures and fittings to put into it to make the house work. In my job, I spend my time recreating old-fashioned interiors, like this one at Thwaite Mills, where you can see the scullery, which we've recreated to the way it looked around 1900. It took us months and months with the vast resource of the museum behind us. Fortunately, we have all sorts of publications from this era to help us. This is a really important one. It's Castle's Book of the Household. It was really a kind of housewife's Bible of yesteryear. It also has the kind of technical notes in it that will enable us to get all the detail right and all the machinery that we're going to put into our restored building to get it operational and fully working. And when we've finished with it, we'll pass it on to the family who are going to live there, and we'll see if it'll help chart them through the difficult waters of living in the past.
The next challenge is to make the house a working home. It'll require finding hundreds of items, a job for prop specialist Leah Kramer.
Well, I normally work in commercials, and the sets for those are obviously, you do a few rooms, it can be very large, a lot of building, but nothing like having to fit out a whole house with changes of linen, all the kitchen pans, all the utensils, all the washing things, every towel. It's mammoth, really. Every day I think of something else to put on my list. That is absolutely adorable. The difference here is that everything's got to last and it's got to work. Our family have to feel that these possessions are theirs. They're not going to be whisked away in 2 days' time and we close up shop.
In 1900, families could buy the entire contents of their house from a catalogue. In America, Montgomery Ward and Sears Roebuck catalogues were popular. Today, Leah has to track down everything the hard way.
The next job is that we have to make all this 19th century technology that we're planning work. And at this late stage, I have to confess that it's something I've never done before. I've always created the effect of 19th century technology in the houses that I've restored and worked on, but we've never really had it going actually. We've never lit those fires. We've never had the Ranger cooking. We've never got the gas igniting. So this is going to be a real challenge to do that so that our 1900 house family don't gas themselves or get caught in the shrapnel of an exploding boiler as their Victorian forebears might have done.
It's taken 3 weeks to totally gut the house.
Oh dear. Oh dear, dear, dear.
Now the rebuilding begins, and with it the first major headache. In the kitchen, the hearth for the range has been excavated, but the opening looks very small.
I think it must have gone back further in order to accommodate a range that would have been big enough to feed a whole family. You've not got much in the way of a hot plate or oven size there, really, have you?
No.
What depth are we looking for?
Well, I think we're looking for about 2 feet, maybe.
Well, you won't get 2 feet.
No.
You
We've got 18 inches.
What we're looking for is something like this.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see, it's quite a monster with an oven and a hot water boiler and space for airing plates up above, but it's much bigger than the opening that we have here. I mean, this is going to be the most important piece of kit in the house. It's giving them hot water, it's giving them a means of warmth, it's the engine of the house, it's what makes it work. Finding one's proving nigh impossible as it is, so with a tiny aperture like that, we're really going to be stuck. I suppose the only other alternative is to give them jugs of hot water and a tin bath, which would be sadistic but kind of interesting for this project.
Ranges with back boilers were dangerous. The technology was crude. They often exploded without warning. It'll be one of the many hazards in the 1900 house.
So this is the kitchen. This is where they'll be carrying out their cooking on
100 years ago, there was less thought given to safety in the home. Today, we have many more rules and regulations, so we've brought in specialists for advice.
The local authority are monitoring the building from building regulations point of view. So what we've said is we've given them a performance specification and we've told them we do not want the family to die. And
I think from the initial look we've had around, it certainly raises a lot of the issues to do with how much things have changed since 1900 and how much we take for granted the safety improvements that have been made in all sorts of different activities that take place in the home.
Certainly around London.
The safety inspectors can't properly assess the risks until the house is finished. We're now taking a big gamble, because if they're unhappy when they return, they could close the project down.
I think the primary concern is the fact that there are a number of children in this environment.
So what would your advice be to a family who are going to move in these conditions?
Don't. Sorry, that's a good question, but I'm not sure I have an answer for that one, at this stage anyway.
We are the Rose family, and we would like to live in the 1900s house because
we would like to go back to that time just to see whether we can actually say that yes, it was hard in those days for those people, or whether we can come back and basically say, well, you know, we've done it and it wasn't that bad kind of thing. And
I want to find out what it's like to be 11 in the year 1900. I want to dress up in the Victorian clothes.
I want the opportunity of a lifetime.
I would like to ease down the tempo of life and have time to have respect to fellow men and also to get conversation back as a feature of life.
Finding Victorian gadgets is proving difficult for Leah. To help her, Daru has arranged a visit to his museum stores.
Of course, keeping the house clean is going to be really hard for our family. Their Victorian forebears would have been obsessed with keeping the house nice and clean and keeping away the nasty germs that they hated so much. And this is kind of the ideal solution, I guess. A nice, glamorous vacuum cleaner, but of course, spot the deliberate mistake. It's electric. And a family like ours wouldn't really have afforded electric until the 1920s. So you might think a manual vacuum cleaner. And of course, we've got a wonderful one here called the Wizard, which dates from about 1910. It's a bit late. But also, this is the kind of thing that you'd have needed 2 people to operate. So it's the kind of thing that would have been in a posh person's house. It's not what our family would have had. So you look at the really down market 1900 solution, and we have it here in the Star vacuum cleaner. I'd like to demonstrate this, but do you have any allergies to dust? What you do with it is, it's got a kind of suction system whereby pogo stick-like, you pump up and down on this, and the dust sucks up, traps in there, and hopefully works. But
it must have blown out more than it sucked in.
I'm afraid it probably does, as you can see from that momentary use there. A lot of these survive, I suspect, because they didn't really work. But anyway, this is rather a handy gadget that our people in the 1900 house might have used. It's a beetle trap, because of course many Edwardian house kitchens were full of cockroaches.
Oh, do you think ours will be?
Well, I don't know. It's going to be a warm environment. They might start coming out from under the range. But these creatures used to potter out after dark. And I read one account recently of a poor maidservant who had to sleep in the kitchen and was overrun with them when she woke up in the night. So a sticky solution in the bottom of here that would have lured and trapped them was ideal.
The family really do live in my head for this project. How they're going to conduct their absolutely every inch of their day, and that is like a running story of what goes on. Have they received a letter from Auntie Maud that she's coming to tea on Sunday, and it throws them into a panic? So they're living people, not as yet, but for me now.
Well, I think it would be a good idea because it would be good for the children to realise what advantages they have living in the modern world.
And there wouldn't be the interruption of the computer, the telephone, the television, the Game Boy, and we can do things more together as a family.
At Elliscombe Road, the job of reinstating authentic Victorian appliances has begun.
We are now starting to erect a copper. It's a brick-built structure that this bowl fits in, but the problem's been we didn't know how to do it. So we had to go back to a turn of the century book over here that gives you a design of how to build it, showing clearly how it was built with the copper inserted. There's a fire in the base here. That warms the water that the family washing goes inside the bowl here and then transferred over into the sink to be rinsed. And that's how the family wash was done. Down here, Peter, is the gas pipes.
Investigations in the cellar are promising. There's a good chance that the gas piping we'll need for the lights is still intact.
But this is old.
Definitely, old barrel. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, with a bit of luck, that's still working.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Most homes of the period will still have gas pipes buried in their walls, more than 100 years old and unused for at least 60. The pipes are reconnected to the gas main. A pressure test shows they're still sound. But what will happen when we uncap the original gas outlets?
When the electricity went in, the electric lights went in, these would obviously become redundant. So this is the time to tell. Are we dead or alive? And you can quite clearly see we're live there, George. So if you can put your finger over that, please, for now.
Half a century of dust and rust is expelled as gas fills the pipes once again.
Well, that's great, because first of all, we haven't got to put new piping in. But I think, like many of the other things we've found in this place, it's remarkable to think that that's 100 years old and it's still sound.
But one big item is still missing.
Everything's proceeding quite well, but there is some problems. The gear that's being provided for us by the clients is quite a bit missing. The major thing being the range cooker. Apparently they're going all over England, Scotland and Wales. They haven't got one. And I am worried a bit whether they're going to find one.
Once, every home had a range. But by the 1940s, the installation of electricity made them redundant and they were ripped out. Few remain that work, fewer still that are the right size. As a result, Leah Kramer has spent weeks looking for an operable one that will fit in the home.
I've never had such difficulty finding anything before. And when it started to prove to be a little bit difficult, I thought, oh, it'll be all right. By Christmas time, I'll get it. And then Christmas came along, and I thought, New Year, I'll have it. And suddenly we're at the end of January, and time is really rushing past, and I still don't have
it. Work is beginning in the small backyard or garden.
That looks great.
Horticultural historian Katie Butler is in charge of the design.
Gardens were really becoming very important to the Victorians. Very elaborate bedding schemes, using often half-hardy plants which either had to be grown under glass or even bought in. This is just my thumbnail working sketch of what I'm doing with the garden. This is the house end up here, and as you can see, the idea is to have this very central bedding feature be the sort of area that they might take their guests into to have a look at, to admire the plants, be very bold and colourful. I suppose it's a bit the equivalent of their parlour indoors.
Inside, Huey the decorator has uncovered some period detail. Sets of stencils running above the picture rail. He's eager to reproduce them and waiting for Daru to give him the go-ahead.
Well, it's a really beautiful bit of stenciling.
Isn't it? Yeah.
It's really taken him a long time to do that, hasn't it? It's been a real effort to do that repeat around the top.
Because we found this upstairs doing it a bit in a smaller pattern, didn't we? The same colours.
In the front bedroom?
Yeah, the front bedroom.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. The problem for us is it's not right. It's right for the house, but the house as it might have been around the time of the First World War. Who knows, perhaps the people who lived in the house have been involved in the First World War, gone over there and seen this very continental Art Nouveau style and brought it back.
What's going to happen now?
I'm afraid to say I think we're going to have to cover it up. It's going to be a whole lot gloomier and a whole lot nastier.
Instead, Huey will hang wallpaper that has period design. The cost of reproducing the paper in the linen closet would blow the budget, but Leah has found a close match.
Now we're decorating the house, we're using all sorts of original finishes that would have been appropriate for 1900. Sanitary wallpapers, for example, like the one in the hall, which would be easy to wipe clean. And also we're using flour and water paste to hang it. Complicated and slightly messy, but it does the job beautifully. We haven't been able to recreate some things. For example, in a Victorian house they would have used very, very heavily high lead content paints, which would be poisonous nowadays. And also many of the original wallpapers used at this time would have had a very high arsenic content, sometimes as many as 17 grains per square foot, which through the gases that they gave out could have killed you. So we haven't done that. It wouldn't be fair to the family.
There were at that time a lot of garden products, particularly pesticides, containing lethal heavy metal materials, which of course are completely banned these days. Even something like nicotine, which throughout the century has remained quite a popular pesticide and has only very recently been banned because of how dangerous it is to human health. And of course there's one thing which really hasn't changed for a very, very long time, and it's this muck. Well-rotted muck. So this is certainly the foundation of all good gardening.
I'll watch his paper now.
This would have been the ultimate mod con in the house of 1900. It's the bathroom, although I'm standing where the bath is going to be. Baths were still quite a new thing for large sections of society in 1900. Books advised you to take a cold bath or cold wash each day and perhaps a hot bath once a week, because whilst recommended, people weren't sure that they were terribly good for you. This bathroom is going to be largely filled by the cast iron bath. We're also going to have a wash hand stand with a jug and basin on it for shaving with, and we're not going to have a toilet in here. That's outside down the yard. An indoor toilet spelt disease. The noxious smells that could come from the pan could put a whole family into the hospital ward, so they tended to avoid them wherever possible.
The toilet we've installed out back is state-of-the-art for 1900. The patent Niagara guarantees satisfaction with a 2-gallon flush, complete with S-bend to prevent sewer gases rising.
Is that way around, isn't it? I think it's pretty tough.
The discovery in 1860 that typhoid cholera were carried in water led to a gradual improvement in purification. Even so, in 1900, families were recommended to filter their drinking water. It would be another 10 years before chlorination was universal. The hunt for the missing stove has led to the north of England. An antique dealer has found a range that's been in storage for years. Heating engineer Mike Bishop has to decide whether it's functional. It is even smaller than they expected, but it will fit the space perfectly.
This looks like it's workable.
Yeah, no, it's not bad. The ship, it's quite easy to repair. You know, the main bits can't be very good.
Okay. I'm convinced.
You're convinced?
I'm convinced.
All right.
As long as you are, really.
We
can make it work. Sold. To the lady in the brown coat. We found it. At last, it's taken me 2 months of searching from Yorkshire to Brighton for this blessed range, and now there's one that looks like it's going to work. It'll fit in the space, and it's done. And now I can get on with the furniture.
We're a few weeks behind schedule, but every major piece of technology has now been found. The missing ingredient is the family. Over 400 have volunteered. With moving day just a month away, it's time to decide who will get to live in the 1900 house.
There you go.
In Somerset, Joyce Bowler is taking an important call. The family think they're being filmed as part of the audition process, but in fact, they're about to discover that they've been chosen as the family for the project.
Oh my God! He wet himself. So speechless. Oh no, I'm shaking. Sorry. We're a very resourceful lot.
They found
but we don't know how resourceful.
I think they're really interesting as a family for this programme because they have this sense of adventure that they really, all of them, are very curious and interested in what the experience is going to be like. Yeah, they've got a good sense of humour and they laugh together, not at each other, but together, and really enjoy that. They're also, I think, quite comfortable with the camera, which will be very, very important if it's not to be too stressful.
And the third set, off we go.
Paul Bowler's job as a warrant officer with the Royal Marines means that the family has moved a lot. They've been uprooted 13 times in 16 years. For 11-year-old twins, Hilary and Ruth, it'll be a welcome break from boarding school. Computer addict, 9-year-old Joe, and sister Catherine, 16, will also take on the challenge, while older sister Connie will stay behind to look after the family home. Joyce will be at the helm.
What really captured my imagination with the 1900 house was it offered an opportunity for us to really live, to go back in time and to, in effect, time travel. So down to the last little bit of clothing that I'm wearing, down to the food that I'm preparing, the bed that I'm sleeping in, the cotton in the sheets on the beds that I've made that I'm sleeping in, that I really feel that I'm not play acting it, but that I really am living 1900.
It's like going to a National Trust property and being allowed to go in the rooms that you're not allowed to go in.
Yeah.
And the excitement that would bring to somebody.
And to touch the things that
so it's
you're
like
not
you see the
allowed
bed and it says a little card, do not touch.
Yeah.
You've got to get inside.
But Dad's going to be alright. Mum's going to be alright, but Dad.
Yeah, Mum will keep a level head, but then if Dad goes off the rails, then it will all collapse, and Mum will collapse, and like we'll all run out screaming.
My goodness. So the last missing piece of the jigsaw puzzle's turned up, but isn't it tiny? You wouldn't be able to do too much cooking on that, would you? But have you tried it out yet?
We have tried it out, yes. Yeah, we cooked when we first got it in its original state. We wanted to see what it was going to be like as we got it, and then once we finished with it. And we cooked a chicken in it, a small chicken, and it took ages.
How long?
It took about 6 or 7 hours. But then once we took it to pieces, we found out why we thought it was taking that sort of time. Because there were big holes in the base plate and holes in the side plates, which just means that the heat wasn't going around the oven properly.
So the million-dollar question, are we going to be able to heat hot water in it?
Well, we hope so. When we originally found it, there was no actual heat exchanger in the back of the flue to give you hot water. But when we took the plate out, the base plate out, which fits in just like that, we found this cutout, which was probably where a heat exchanger was. So we're having a stainless steel replacement made, and hopefully that will give some sort of provision for about 25 to 30 gallons of hot water, which is dictated by the amount of storage we put in the bathroom.
So they are going to be able to have their hot baths first thing in the morning?
1 or 2 of them will be.
Ranges like this were incredibly important because they allowed people to really cook in the home. I think people forget that 100 years or so ago, lots of people actually had to take their pastries and their joint out round the corner to get it cooked at a communal baker's. With the development of ranges like this in the 19th century, it allowed them to be cheap and to be installed in small houses, so you could cook at home for the first time.
The local Environmental Health Department has rejected our request to burn the coal authentic to the period. So Mike is having to fire up the range with the modern smokeless coal, a far cry from the pollution of 100 years ago, which even had an influence on garden design.
The main reason, I suppose, for the Victorians in cities that bedding was so important was because the air pollution was so appalling in those times because of the heavy industry, the extension of the railways, all sorts of motorisation starting to happen. And plants, quite simply, couldn't always cope with it for very long. And so this was one way to ensure that you had a continuity of display once the plants that you've got out there were well and truly poisoned. You dug them up, threw them away and put some other ones in.
In the small backyard is a plot for vegetables. The Victorians often gave them unusual names.
They called them things like telephone, when telephone was the most exciting invention there was. Then they named a pea after it.
Pop those back on.
It's the big moment for the gas lights. Old fittings won't stand today's higher gas pressure, so newly made lamps are being used.
Well, gas had first come in for domestic lighting in the 1840s and 50s, but people were very suspicious about it. They thought it was poisonous or that it would damage your pictures or your decorations. But by the turn of the century, lots of people could afford it, and it was an awful lot more labour-saving than candles or paraffin lamps were. So in small suburban houses like this, it was very much used in the main downstairs rooms. The first kind of gas burner was called the bat's wing, and it really just shaped a naked flame. It was certainly easier to use than the candles were, but it didn't give out a lot of light. It was really quite gloomy. By the turn of the century, there were all sorts of technologies available that made gas lighting more efficient. One of the things they developed by this point was the incandescent mantle, which was a kind of sheath that sat over the gas flame and gave an incredibly bright light, a light that vied with the newfounded electricity that was also available but was incredibly costly to use.
The incandescent mantle revolutionized lighting. At last, people could see well at night. The gauze is impregnated with chemicals which glow white hot when they burn.
We've got the light level right, but what we haven't done is use the old-fashioned town gas supply. Instead, we're using natural gas, which is more stable and available to us now. And I suppose the real test is whether the family will be able to read by it.
Gas lights have only been installed on the ground floor. In 1900, many people distrusted gas in bedrooms, which means the bowlers will have to rely on paraffin lamps and candles when upstairs.
I've made a special little corner here with my favourite plant, which is the myrtle. Now, in Victorian times, the myrtle signified love, and I guess from that they speculated whether the marriage was healthy or not from the health of the plant, and we've got a lovely healthy one there. So I hope their relationship doesn't crack up under the strain of living here. So that's it, it's up to them now. I'm sure they'll keep it under control and I'm sure they'll have a lot of fun with it. And yeah, good luck to them.
The bowlers are raring to go.
We're actually going back in time, so I've actually got a lot of military skills, I think, that I may be able to help me adapt to a unfamiliar situation. And obviously using the skills I've been sort of taught within the Royal Marines and obviously nurtured in the Royal Marines to help me get through my career will hopefully benefit me when I get into the house.
I think if it's going to be done at all, it ought to be done properly. So no cheating, no wearing thermal undies under Victorian costume, because you're not going to feel that you really are living here. And I would hate to come out at the end of 3 months and say, well, yes, I suppose we did live as a 1900 family, but you know, the whole time I had my trainers on or something. I think that would just spoil it. So I would like, as the historian bit inside me wants it to be as true and as accurate as it possibly can be.
With 10 days to go, the deadline is looming, and there's still lots to do, working in very cramped conditions. The range has been on for 2 days, but the back boiler hasn't produced more than a dribble of tepid water. everyone is baffled.
I would have thought by now that'd been quite warm.
The good news is that the oven is successfully producing lunch.
Oh, if the water's not hot, that is. Oh.
Then, on the final stretch, disaster. Once all the fires are lit, we have a modern-day pollution problem. Smoke is leaking from one of the chimneys into the sitting room of the house next door. To find the source of the leak, they do a test.
He's bagged the chimney off now.
We're putting the smoke up the chimney to try and detect where we're getting leaks. And the idea is that we're getting so much smoke back is that we've bagged the top up to stop it from exhausting. So that now it's coming down and we'll try and test next door to see whether there's anything's coming in there.
Next door, the results are not good.
We've just seen great billowing, vast amounts of smoke coming through our side, and you can see it actually coming through even more so than before.
A miniature camera inside the chimney reveals the problem. The damage is typical of what happens when central heating is installed. Moisture rising through the unused chimney has reacted with acid produced by years of burnt fuel. It has eaten through the mortar in the brickwork dividing the properties. Unless we reline the chimney, deadly carbon monoxide could penetrate the gaps.
What we learned is a total disaster. So now we've got to open this up, haven't we? We've got to have a throat thing put in, the line has got to come down, everywhere's got to be protected. All this has got to be repaired again, same in next door. Just when we didn't need it. Oh dear.
The building work starts just as the furniture begins to arrive.
The last-minute building work has really put behind my decorating that room. I've had to pick up the furniture much later. It's all getting very near the time when our family are moving in, and I won't know whether I'm actually lacking things. So it's nail-biting stuff, actually, for me.
Brian, you going to give a hand?
Let's chance getting damage.
The repairs to the chimney have caused a lot of problems, and the project is now a week behind schedule. But the 1900 house is finally ready. Although not everyone is happy with the result, the safety advisors are back to prepare their report. It is a winter's day and the house is so gloomy it's hard to make a full inspection. Every object is scrutinized for potential hazards.
Looks like a felt pad. Yeah, felt pad reservoir.
Their findings are sobering. They identify over 50 health and safety issues which need consideration. To make the house completely safe, they recommend reinstalling electricity, removing the cutthroat razor, and adding a thermostat to prevent the back boiler from exploding. Rag rugs are declared tripping hazards.
What we can't do is rebuild the house at this stage, so what we're going to do is send the bowlers to a living museum where they can experience some of the real hazards of 1900 life. What we've also done is to fit a break glass unit which holds the key to this door, which is the old box room of the house where we keep our technical equipment. In here there's a phone, so if they need to call for help, they can use this.
To try and avoid emergencies, the bowlers need to learn long-forgotten skills in using equipment that is potentially dangerous. To teach them, we're sending them to a living museum in central England for several days. Here, staff are expert in demonstrating turn-of-the-century household skills.
You want to light the range from the front.
When we're in the kitchen and we were by the range looks like a big, scary monster. It was black, and when we lit the fire, it got hotter and hotter and hotter. So So how will we know how hot the oven is for what we're cooking?
Right. The way of testing the oven is simply by putting your hand inside it. It's the only way.
Right.
So you'll just get to know the temperature, whether you'll have a cool, a medium or a hot oven.
Cool, medium and a hot hand, is it?
Yeah. That's right, yes. Okay. If you get a handful of soda from there, don't put your knives into it.
Washing 1900 style means soda crystals and boiling water.
You can use the soap jelly as well, which they also use. This is grated soap and boiling water. That's nice stuff, that soap jelly, isn't it? Don't forget you'll be washing your hair in that as well.
Oh, wow.
Joyce is in the museum storerooms. From now on, she'll have to run her home using only what was available to the housewife of 1900.
Looking around, I tended to go for the things that I recognised. So you think, oh, I know what that is, I know what that is. And then you suddenly realise it's packed full of things that you don't know what they are. And you know, you're thinking, hang on, am I going to open the drawer in the kitchen and it's going to be full of all these things, implements and stuff, and packets, and I won't know what to use them. And that's a little bit scary.
This is the fabric that you'll use for.
Nearly 30 years before the tampon was invented, Joyce will have to make her own sanitary wear.
And how do we make a sanitary rag? I mean, how does this fabric work?
You just get a piece of it and fold it over.
So we just shape it?
Just tack it at the sides to make it secure, and then pin it to the sanitary belt. You'll have to make yourself a sanitary belt.
Okay.
Right.
Without detergents, clothes and sheets will have to be boiled, but boiling has its own hazards. Around 2,000 children died from burns and scalds in 1900 Britain. Last year, the figure was 11.
Good. I am genuinely worried. I really am quite concerned. If something does happen, I could never forgive myself if something happened to the girls or Joe. Excellent. It's going to be for 3 months of really hard work. And 3 months of really hard work using extremely hazardous equipment, yeah? Hopefully we're not going to have an accident.
Now the 1900 house is becoming reality, I'm a little bit scared, to tell you the truth.
We've all got different feelings about this.
We're signing,
So
we're signing
gonna try
ourselves off from the 20th century. Don't forget that. Completely and utterly, everyone.
We're going to be doing it for real in the house. We're not going to be practising like we were here and everything. We're going to be doing it for real. So we're going to have to do it properly now, not just make faults. We're going to have to do it properly.
I'm still enthusiastic. I mean, one of my failings is that I always feel that other people are going to be as enthused about things as I am. And
like a little naive little girl.
No, I'm just very positive about it.
You're just obviously aware we're the fairies, Joyce.
Yeah, you go running and go, woo.
Possibly. But I still want to do it. It's going to be great.
As many safety regulations as possible have been complied with. The house is now ready for the bowlers to move in. Almost a third of the decorating budget has gone into one room, the front parlor. This was a room designed purely to impress visitors, though in America, very grand parlors were already considered old-fashioned by periodicals like Ladies' Home Journal. The back parlor is where everyday living took place. Most meals would have been eaten here. We've tested the range as best we can, but we won't know till the family moves in whether it can provide heat, food, and warm water for a family of 6. Wash day at number 50 will happen here. Elbow grease will take the place of modern detergents. In the bathroom, teeth will be brushed with pig bristle brushes dipped in bicarbonate of soda. The best bedroom, once reserved for births, deaths, and the occasional guest, will be taken by Paul and Joyce. Joe, as a middle-class boy, has a room of his own, well away from the girls, who will all share one room, the twins doubled up in one bed. Before the family moves in, there's a chance for local people to look around. Pauline Bellis's mother lived in this house for 40 years.
The old windows are still there.
The door was fantastic as well.
Good
I was
gracious.
waiting there, waiting for you.
I'm sorry about that. This is marvellous.
What do you reckon?
It's not the same place.
Well, come into the sitting room.
Do you know, it's like going back 100 years.
Well, that's what we wanted.
Oh, look at this, Dave. Oh, isn't that amazing?
Well, I feel quite sorry for the people who are going to move in because it's going to be hard for them if they've been used to the comforts of the 20th century.
What I noticed when I came in was the warmth, or the lack of, shall we say.
I thought the family would never manage. I would never envisage, even consider doing it. But now it's finished, seeing how well it's furnished, how comfortable it is, to me, I think the family will be very surprised and quite pleased.
This is going to seem really alien to the younger generation, because
Oh,
although it's gone
definitely.
within our memory, to them it'll seem totally strange and alien.
Definitely. I mean, they're all televisions, microchip, computers, but nothing like this.
No.
Nothing like the
Yeah,
old
the
wooden draining
forefathers were,
boards and
mums and dads.
no washing machine,
Oh, well.
no tumble dryer.
I think it was marvellous
Oh.
fun.
I'm just amazed. Doesn't bear any resemblance to the place that I sold. Your boys got a crack on, didn't they, with the work? Strikes me how dark it is in here, and I guess this is how it would have been. The ironic thing is we sold this for approximately 130,000. Goodness only knows what we could get for it now. This is just the sort of place that people are looking for, with no mod cons whatsoever. It's the most original refurb I've ever seen.
It's the last night before the bowlers move in.
Well, tonight's the night when I actually sleep in the house, and first of all I'm going to cook my tea, and of course it's the big test to see whether everything works, whether the range will actually produce toad in the hole, which is what I'm trying to make. See whether this whisk of the time actually works. Apparently, according to the instructions, this is meant to have the texture of double cream, but at the moment I think it's rather like the stuff Huey put the wallpaper up with.
It's early March, and unless you're close to the range, the rest of the house is close to freezing. Mastering the fire will be an important skill for the bowlers throughout their 3-month stay.
Well, it's been in here for about an hour and a half now, so we should have action in theory, and, well, it's not as bad as all that, really, but if I get it to the table, let's have a poke at it. Well, it's more like a sort of semolina pudding that's been out in the rain for a couple of days at the moment. But I think if I stuff it in and leave it for perhaps another hour, it'll be all right. But I think in the meantime, I'm going to have some more cake. Well, it should be done by now, and this says that we should have lit the oven earlier and stoked it up better than we did do. So the family are really going to have to be on their toes to keep this hot all the time if they want meals on time.
It will be really interesting to see how the family grow, whether we'll be able to gel, because we're a really close family now. Whether we're held together by 20th century technology is something we've yet to find out.
Are we doing it for the nation or are we doing it for us?
We're doing it for us. Sorry. Yeah.
There's absolutely no hot water, not even tepid, nothing. It's absolutely clock cold. The fire's been lit for about 6 hours now and we've got nothing. So I'm not going to be having a bath in that tonight. It's such an experiment, this whole project, the family leaving the 20th century and returning to this period in time. It's going to be intriguing to see how they get to grips with all of this technology and still carry on with their everyday lives. It's going to be hard for them, but I don't think it will be without its compensations, and for us it'll give us a chance to see really how life in 1900 was lived and also to contrast it with our lives today.
I'm not wearing any drawers. Quite frankly, I don't think a Victorian lady would have done with this amount of skirts on. She might have done if she was going to a special occasion,
But it's going to save me so much more washing. I've got my top stuff on. I've got, you know, my under corset thing on, which comes down so far. But I'm not wearing the bottom half, because I got it out and I thought, why? And I don't think Victorian ladies would have done. I think they might have had a couple of very special pairs, a couple of frillies in the drawer, but they wouldn't have worn them every day, because it would have been too much to wash.
This week at the 1900 house, it's moving in day, and our family has to come to grips with the practicalities of life 100 years ago, 1900 style. From getting dressed in the morning, to cooking, and cleaning, they discover that not everything in 1900 is as easy as they had imagined.
Fed up being dirty, smelly, and greasy, and skanky.
Mum and Dad have been talking, shouting a lot at each other because they can't work things out.
Why did you put more coal on? Now I've lost the boil. Just leave one alone.
Yes, all right. I'm sorry.
Those 3 rotten days! We're relying on them, and they should understand that. If they don't grow up, if they don't just grow up, then I don't know what we're going to do.
In an ordinary London suburb, an extraordinary experiment is about to begin. The mission to discover how much domestic life has changed in the last 100 years. An average family has volunteered to give up the technology of today and live as Victorians. A time machine has been created. The address, 50 Elliscombe Road, Greenwich, England. Inside, a typical middle-class home of the year 1900. Every detail is perfect. From the fake marble fireplace popular with the socially aspirant, to state-of-the-art gas lamps. The kitchen is fully fitted with 1900 gadgets. The larder's fully stocked with 1900 goods. Upstairs, the latest convenience of the turn of the century, an indoor bathroom. The beds are all made up, the clocks are ticking. To bring the house to life, there is only one ingredient missing, the family.
We are the Bowler family, and we would like to live in a 1900 house because...
I've got a love for history and a real passion for anything that would give me an opportunity to time travel, which is why we visit so many museums, which is why we go to so many different National Trust properties, stately homes or what have you.
The Bowler family will move 150 miles from their home to live in the 1900 house. They were chosen from over 400 applicants.
Well, I'm surprised. Yeah, I do like these.
Being dirty.
We might find we don't need some of the things that we think we depend on so much. We might come back.
Joyce and Paul Bowler, twins Hilary and Ruth, teenager Catherine, and little brother Joe are spending their last precious moments with their modern creature comforts. A final meal, a junk food feast. To make the experiment work, the family has agreed to live by a set of rules to bring them into line with life in 1900. 1900 housewives didn't work outside the home, so Joyce will be taking a break from her job as a school inspector. Green Beret Paul will keep working for the Royal Marines, but he'll take up a new job in a London recruiting office in 1900 uniform.
The reason I'm doing this is for Joyce. She's followed me around, she's supported me in whatever I'm doing, and I think it's a bit of a payback time now for Joyce to allow her to do what she wants to do.
The Bowler children will be allowed to go to school in their modern uniforms, but they'll have to change back into their 1900 clothes at a neighbor's before they go home. They'll all have to live for 3 months without modern toiletries and cosmetics.
Yeah, it's my last night, and I just thought I'd phone you up to say bye-bye.
Back at the 1900 house, the historical advisor to the project is doing his final checks.
Hot chili pizza and satellite TV.
He is Victorian expert and curator of living museums, Darrell Rook.
All we have to tell us of the lives of the people who first lived in homes like these are the magazines and books of the period. If in 100 years' time someone were to read our magazines, do you think they'd have any idea how we really lived? What the bowlers will be doing over the next 3 months, hopefully, is putting the flesh on a small chapter of human history.
The big day has arrived. The bowlers are getting changed in a hotel only a mile from the 1900 house.
When I got dressed this morning, it just felt so special. It was great, and we were just prancing around, twirling my skirt. It was lovely.
Costume designer Rosalind Ebbett has been scouring antique shops and copying fragile museum pieces to make up the family wardrobe.
A skirt gives a rustle, because the idea of rustling underwear underneath a skirt was supposed to be very sexy.
The bowlers have just 3 outfits and 3 sets of underwear each. In 1900 Britain, as in America, this would have been all they could afford.
And theirs are very thick as well.
Paul's period uniform has had to be made specially. An original in his size could not be found. But then the average height of a 1900 Royal Marine was only 5'6".
So, how do I go to the loo?
You undo all the buttons all the way through, right? Button up for decency.
Oh yes.
It then kind of pulls apart, and then you can do whatever you need to do.
Okay.
Aiming straight.
Right. Okay.
For the next 3 months, the bowler children will only change out of their Victorian clothes for school. And Joyce and Paul will stay in 1900 dress at all times.
I feel completely different though, it's amazing. I haven't been this excited and felt this way since my wedding day. I had a funny tummy and I felt quite sort of sick and excited. So, are you ready to go?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, we look ready to go.
The people of Elliscombe Road are gathering to welcome the family to their new home.
Oh, I've got a funny tummy. So have I. Oh, I'm excited and nervous.
Oh my God, there's hundreds of people.
After weeks of anticipation, the bowlers are about to see the 1900 house for the first time.
Oh, this is it?
Oh, there it is.
The time travelers have crossed the threshold of their 1900 home. To show them around, Darrell Rook.
The first room I want you to look in is the front parlour, which is the best room in the house. So if you'd like to go in, coming in. Enjoy.
Oh my God.
But what do you think?
Fantastic.
Beautiful. It's
beautiful.
So much better than I thought it was going to be. It's just wonderful.
Well, reasonably well-off people in London in 1900 did have quite a nice lifestyle. So you've got nice paper and carpets and pictures and things on the wall. And we've got a piano in here, so who's going to be the lucky person to learn to play? Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Well, the instrument's over there behind you. We've left you a piece of music called The Lost Chord. Do you want to come through into the other room now?
It's like a real home, isn't it? It feels like a real home. It doesn't feel like a museum or something that's been artificially put together.
Because of all the little things.
Well, what we tried to do was to imagine what a house like this would have looked like when in life. So you'll find that when you open the drawers, there are things in there, and so I think you'll find lots of little surprises as you go around the house.
There's so much
I can live here. I must admit, this is such a brilliant place. I would love to live here for more than 3 months, but knowing that the weeks ahead are going to be hard and tough, I might take back that offer. Yes, this is it. Oh, Ruth, look! Oh, my!
Now it's time for Daru to start the handover.
Well, this is the way through to the kitchen, and of course the key thing in here is the range. It's a very small appliance. We searched around to find the one that fitted the shape that we got there, but also we looked around for a really cheap one, because the family who would have moved into this house wouldn't have had a very expensive range, and this is like the equivalent of a £100 cooker of today as opposed to an £800 cooker.
Oh, right.
So don't expect great things out of it.
Cover, you've got nice potty. Ta-da! It's nicely decorated. Do you think you'd use that? I would if I was desperate. Desperate, yeah.
And if it was cold, if it was raining, if there was a thunderstorm.
And it was dark.
Then I would.
Yes.
I think I know what that is.
I was scared that this was going to be a fair walk from the back door, but
True to the time, though there is running water, the toilet is located outside for fear of germs. It is equipped with torn-up newspapers.
this could be a whole experience on its own.
I don't think we'll spend too long in there.
You will. Got something to read.
One thing you have to know, as well as the range, is the whole business about the housekeeping money. And we've got a ledger here for you to write the household accounts in.
The bowlers will have a strict budget that they must stick to based on the average income of a middle-class family at the time.
A year. And we're adding to that the dowry that you would have brought to the marriage as a greengrocer's daughter or whatever you want to be. And that will give you a weekly income of about £4. So you've got to buy all the food on that. And we've written in here all the equivalent costs of all the products you'll want. So you'll be able to budget for it as well as you can. They're just down there.
£4 doesn't sound very much.
They'll have no access to money, and all purchases must be made on account with local suppliers. In 1900 America, a family like this would have lived quite comfortably on less than $1,000 a year.
Now, the other thing I just must finally show you is the Housewife's Bible, the book of the household that we used really to model the whole house on, and which would have been indispensable to anybody at the turn of the century setting up home. And as you can see, it's got everything in it, from how to wash your cups, physical science, culture of bulbous plants, right the way through to how to deal with coughs and diseases.
So would every self-respecting housewife have owned a copy?
It's the kind of thing that someone might have been given as a wedding present. Because of the new types of people living in houses like this who didn't know how to interview servants or work on a range like this, these books were indispensable, and I think they probably will be to you too.
Some of the foods the family can eat will be more familiar than others. Soda is allowed because Victorians already had carbonated ginger beer and lemonade.
See, that would make sense, really. Was that good? Is that real lemonade? It looks like real lemonade. Oh, I love real lemonade. Okay, with the glasses, please. Oh, yes. Why don't you go and have some of that?
Here, home delivery pizzas and fast food burgers will be banned. Even at work and school, Paul and the children will take packed lunches made only from food available at the turn of the century.
There's so much to take in. You know, the minute you let us in and came into the hall, my eyes, I just couldn't take everything in, and I'm really looking forward to being able to spend time to look at things. Well, I have to build up a relationship with this range, I think. Definitely. Is this an original?
It is.
It is. Oh, right. So it's an original, but I'm the fake. So it's gonna. I think maybe it's gonna resent me for a while.
Secrets to be told here.
Oh, Catherine, go on, Catherine, go.
Go.
The only modern object allowed in the house.
Oh, it's a camera.
Professional camera. I'm going to be using this one a lot.
Yeah. Okay, hello. This is Hillary. This is my video diary.
Video diary cameras have been installed so that any time, day or night, the family can keep a detailed log of their experiences or confess if they break the rules. These promise to reveal the true story of life in the 1900 house.
This house is killing me.
It seems very sad to have to say goodbye to you so soon.
Well, I'm sorry to be going, but at least I know the house is in capable hands. You all know what you're doing. Very best of luck, all of you. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
I know it's in safe hands.
You must come and visit.
I shall do,
Yes.
if you ask me.
Oh, yeah, we will. We will. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a good time. I must say I feel very fortunate in being able to walk away now, but I am nervous for the family. Will they be frightened of the dark? Will they hurt themselves? Will they get sick? Will they go mad? It's one thing to do this as an adult, but with 4 lively children in tow, 90 days could be a very long time.
The Bowlers are now in charge, and already they have a problem. Catherine has a cough. Time to investigate the medicine cabinet.
Relief for diarrhoea and associated stomach upset. No! You haven't got that, have you? They're obsessed, look! Glycerin suppositories, syrup of figs, Epsom salts.
Very few 1900 families could afford to call a physician. In a real emergency, the Bowlers will be able to call a doctor.
Tell you what, let's go downstairs, look in the books, see what they suggest. We might
But
find
when minor problems arise, they will first consult the medical section of Cassell's Book of the Household. The American equivalent was the Ladies' Home Journal.
Here we are. You have to take the following cough linctus. Solution of acetate of morphine, spirits of chloroform. There's one later that's got morphia or opium, so I'm not quite sure really. I'll have each of those. I don't mind. I know, Catherine, you're not getting any of that. You can have this one, syrup of Virginian prunes.
In 1900, hard drugs like opium and cocaine were available over the counter at pharmacies. Even in America, where regulation was stricter, most medicine cabinets would still contain concoctions made from powdered heroin. The Bowlers aren't entirely on their own. If the advice in their reference books fails, they have a list of historical experts they can write to. The answers will reach them via their only means of communication, the mail.
Fire cannons for 1. I want to live the full experience to the limit, basically. I want to do this properly. I was feeling really excited and very nervous. All mixed feelings, really.
See you later.
I hope I'm going to enjoy it as much as I think I'm going to enjoy it. I want it to become our home and I want it to happen quite quickly. So I think although we'll be keeping an eye on each other and making sure that we're sensible about things, my main objective is to make it feel like home. It's lovely, isn't it?
8:15, and the Bowler family wake up to their first full day of their new life as an ordinary family of 1900. Paul's first triumph, keeping the kitchen range burning through the night. From now on, it's the family's only boiler, cooker, kettle, and...
Here's my first piece of toast done in the 1900 house on the fire on the range.
Tubes of toothpaste were invented in Connecticut in 1892, but they were too expensive to be widely used in England or America. In 1900, they had a choice of salt or bicarbonate of soda, applied with a hog bristle brush.
Oh, God, massive. Oh, God.
Home shopping was big in 1900. As in American cities, there was a constant stream of traders selling door to door. But in those days, no one would have answered in their dressing gown.
Good morning. Good morning. Understand you've just moved into the area, local baker. Hello. Would I can do a delivery for you?
Terry Ayres has loaves made to the same recipe and delivered in the same basket once used by his great-grandfather. The price of a loaf, 1 penny.
Large cottage loaves, still warm, just come out the oven.
Yeah, lovely.
Local tradesmen have been selected to supply the bowlers with fresh food, but they're only allowed to sell products available in 1900.
Yeah, and the scone round.
Here's your scone round.
Lovely.
I'll give you a bill at the end of the week. All right then, thank you very much.
Bye. Okay, breakfast time. What are we going to have this morning?
We haven't got any milk. I'm afraid the milk turned to a bit of a yoghurt overnight. I don't know what time the milk is actually going to be coming today.
And then can you wait for breakfast?
No milk means no breakfast cereal for Joe.
While we're waiting.
Mummy, do I need a shower?
Do I need a shower? Well, you probably do need one, darling, but you can't have one. Because we haven't got one.
Nobody knows a bath.
You can't have a bath either.
Why?
Because we can't get enough hot water yet for a bath.
Oh, yeah.
But you can stand up like we've all done, take all your clothes off and have a strip wash in the bathroom. Do you fancy that?
No.
I think I'm getting a bit stressed out about heat and hot water because the amount of heat that this is kicking out, you know, I should be having at least 3 baths a day off the heated system.
So. Yeah, I would have thought so, but it's just not heating it up, so there must be...
Managing the range is an art the bowlers have yet to master. If it's not raked thoroughly every 20 minutes, ash forms a barrier that stops heat from getting to the boiler and back.
So it should be going up into the bathroom.
No, the pipe's cold.
It's barely warm. Just see what we've got in here.
Hot water situation is a bit of a catastrophe at the moment. The prospect of not having baths is not something I want to think about really. I really, really need a bath.
For the first time, Joyce must squeeze unassisted into her whalebone corset.
Get the better of this if it kills me.
In an age when women were generally flatter-chested, the corsets pushed the bosom up and pulled the waist in.
Petticoat number 1.
Plus 2 petticoats padded out the bottom.
God, I thought so much effort goes into just getting dressed.
Oh, yuck. Smells. I'm not looking at it. In it goes. That's lovely. Now it's all gone.
The safety razor was invented in the United States in 1901. In 1900, Paul's only option is a straight edge, also known as a cutthroat.
Paul's having a shave. He's obviously having a really bad time. I don't think the blade's sharp enough, or it's too sharp, I don't know. I think he's cutting his face off. It's scary, isn't it? You've been in there ages.
It's taken longer than I expected.
Is it really sharp?
Extremely sharp. Extremely sharp.
Right, so I'm not going to be using it then for legs and armpits. I'm just going to have to get hairier and hairier. Oh, God.
To add to the complications of 1900 life, Joyce's birthday is in 2 days. The children are planning a surprise.
It's going to have 1900 house, Joyce Bowler, her date of birth, 1855, I'm putting on it. Brilliant. And then I'm going to put Love Catherine on the bottom.
100 years ago, ordinary families were only just beginning to celebrate birthdays. Even then, there were no gifts for men, but women and children received small handmade presents.
Oh, that's lovely.
So daffodils then?
Yeah.
The family's only means of communication, the mail. It will be delivered and collected 3 times a day, as in American cities in 1900. where a first-class parcel cost just 2 cents an ounce.
A letter from my friend Mike.
Paul receives word of a surprise he's planning for Joyce's birthday.
He's found a man that sells dark breeds of chickens, the sort that would be suitable for your environment. Excellent.
Fred Hams is Britain's #1 expert on the breeding of antique poultry.
In the suburbs of London at the turn of the century, poultry keeping became very popular, partly because eggs were relatively expensive. One of the varieties that was thought to be particularly suitable for urban living was the Black Orpington. You have to remember that London was coal-fired at that time and they was very dirty. And if nothing else, these didn't show the dirt.
Joyce has always wanted some chickens, and I can actually see her in the garden. We're collecting the eggs and then using the eggs in the house, and I think it would be quite sweet if we could actually sort of achieve that for her. It's arranged to have a cockerel sent down with the chickens so we can have a chance to hatch out. Or even, he said, maybe a tasty Sunday dinner.
Joyce may have different ideas.
I've been vegetarian for years. I allow the rest of the family to eat what they want when they're outside. But they know that when they come home, they're not going to get meat in any shape or form. I think it would be interesting to take this modern family, with all our knowledge, back and see if we can keep to our 1999 diet. No, not yet. Or whether we find that because we're working harder, we do need some heavier, stodgier food.
In 1900, vegetarians were starting to show up on both sides of the Atlantic, but they were thought of as a bit eccentric.
It's all cooking slowly, but it does say root vegetables should be cooked slowly with the lid on, so I'm doing it properly.
It's Lady at the house. Good morning, madam. I understand you're new to the area.
Yes, we are.
I'm the local butcher. I wondered whether we could interest you in our products.
Can I have a look and see what you've
Certainly.
got?
There was such a demand for meat that there were 4 busy slaughterhouses. 1 blood boiler for blood sausages known as Savoloys, 1 fat melter for lard, and 9 gut scrapers for sausage skins, all within smelling distance of 50 Elliscombe Road.
Oh, they look... yes. I think I'll have some sausages today. Don't think I'll have anything
Despite her personal reservations, Joyce makes a small concession for her 1900 family.
10 sausages.
Certainly.
Please. Oh, man. Sweet. How could I say it looked disgusting? Thank you for showing me all your dead animals. But I did buy some sausages.
Mrs. Bowler, the new family that moved into Charlton, they've just bought 10 sausages. I understand they're vegetarian. They're not going to last a week on a diet of that. In Victorian times, you couldn't afford to be a vegetarian. Meat was the staple diet all the time. You know, you had stews, you had casseroles, you had beef broth when you were ill, or beef tea, you know. How are they going to survive on just vegetables? To me, it's just laughable.
Joyce is not entirely dependent on local tradesmen for food. Her pantry is stocked with dry goods that were available in 1900, and more can be bought on account at the local store. Many products carry the same brand designs to this day in England. 100 years ago, canned fruit was the height of culinary fashion. While Joyce goes out shopping, the girls seize their chance to make her birthday cake.
Cake's making and baking of flour, sugar, butter, currants, and 4 egg whites. We've only got 3 eggs.
Because in the book it says 4 egg yolks.
Ruth.
We only have 3 eggs. Yes.
I'll be out directly.
Okay.
Slow down.
Factory-made cakes were available and were cheaper, but the girls attempt a homemade sponge cake following a real Victorian recipe.
I had to make a birthday cake for Mum, and it's gone very well so far. It's in the range at the moment. Don't know if it's the right temperature. We better check the cake now. It's been half an hour.
It's hot enough.
Cooking with no temperature controls takes some getting used to.
It's rising. It's rising.
More time.
A bit more time.
I think the cake is a really big failure.
It seems the oven just wasn't hot enough.
I wanted it to be a lovely cake. It smells like a cake, but it just doesn't look like one. Sorry, Joyce.
Day 3 and things aren't getting any better. Paul is still battling with the range. The range is not just for cooking. It's the only source of hot water in the house, and so far it hasn't produced much. Pipes carry the water to the bathroom upstairs. In England, as in America, most ordinary homes had just been fitted with internal plumbing. And water heating ranges like this were an amazing innovation. But like much new technology, they didn't work right at first.
It's great for warming this room, it's great for cooking on, but it's not good at heating water, not in any quantity. I mean, you can get some. I don't mind having a strip wash in lukewarm water.
Oh no, that's been fine, but we have a bathroom. That bathroom obviously would have been used. There's a bath there.
I mean, I'm not asking for the deluxe version, and I'm not asking for, hot water on tap. You know, perhaps once a week, if we could heat up enough water, we could all have a jolly good bath. Once a week.
And that's it.
And a strip wash if we felt.
But that's what would have happened.
Fed up being dirty, smelly, and greasy, and skanky.
Convinced that real Victorians wouldn't have put up with so little hot water, the bowlers call in the man who installed the range in the first place, heating engineer Mike Bishop.
What's happening is that, although we're getting a fantastic fire in here, especially now I think we're letting more air come in, we're just not getting any hot water at all.
This range was one of the first small ranges to come into a property like this. The state of the art of the day. The forerunners of this were virtually open fires. Looking at the range, we would assume that you would have got poor performance out of it at the time, so we're sort of like trying to enhance it a little bit better than it actually was. It's just an old thing, it's a Ford Anglia, not a Rolls Royce.
I think Paul nearly gave himself a nervous breakdown over the weekend, trying different combinations of fuel and different, I'll do this and I'll do that, and oh God.
Mike's theory is that the range was choked with ash. Once he's cleaned it out, Joyce wastes no time in testing the water. The results are a little disappointing.
I've just had my first bath, and a miserable little affair it was too. About 4 inches of hot water. I was just so desperate to wash myself properly. I've come to the conclusion that Victorian cleanliness is nothing like the standards of cleanliness we have today. Good morning, it's my birthday. I'm 44.
Shelves it and goes, yes. That's for
stuff from other people.
Daniel.
Oh, a portrait. Thank you.
Oh, did you make this?
Yeah. You didn't.
I did.
Is that when I was born?
Yeah, 1855. This is Mum's birthday, and we've just given her presents, and she loved them.
Yeah.
Joyce's birthday is off to a good start, until Paul makes a tactical error. With no refrigerator, he's forced to cook the sausages before they go bad.
Seeing meat for Mum isn't a very pleasant experience. She hates the smell of it, it feels thick and sort of faints at the sight of meat.
And Joyce has already ripped her trailing skirt. Time to tackle the 1900 Singer sewing machine.
Bobbin's now run out. Oh, God. Can't see it, can't move. It's just... I don't know why, but everything, everything takes 3 times as long, like the cooking and everything. Well, it's just a simple thing like threading a needle or rewinding a bobbin. It's just a mammoth task. Yes!
Breakfast is barely over, and Joyce has to start cooking lunch.
Why did you put more coal on now I've lost a boil? Why did you do that?
I thought I got my timing right.
Do you know what this is? This is too many cooks spoil the broth. Look,
Yes, I
it's
know.
not boiling.
It's getting there.
Old helpful Harry has set the range back by about 20 minutes.
All of us are still actually a bit jumpy about things, getting upset over little things.
Just leave well alone.
Yes, all right. I'm sorry.
Finding out that things do take longer than other things in the modern world.
Not enough. I mean, I've just not got enough hot plates and things. And for something that would at home take me about 20
Are they
minutes.
my favourite sausages?
Yes, they are your favourites. So, Catherine, just give me a hand. It's fine. Okay. Eat some watercress because it's got iron in it.
Yeah.
Come on, come round. I've cooked myself.
What in there?
Stood over the range.
Mm.
The macaroni didn't do, but I did. God. Paul, do you want to sit down and eat it?
Yeah, I do.
Have you got bread? Is it all right?
Delicious.
It's lovely though.
It is lovely, actually. You're right. Delicious.
Joe, I'm getting a bit worried about you. You haven't eaten anything for a very long time.
The range top wasn't hot enough to cook the macaroni, but now it's scorching. Joyce's carefully prepared compote of rhubarb has stuck to the pan and burned.
Look at it. Why didn't you stir it? That's spiteful.
That one's stupid.
3 rotten days! Right, I'm sitting out here and I'm not coming back in. I'm really cross with myself. It wasn't... I knew it was going to be tough and I knew it wasn't supposed to be so quickly. I thought I was going to be much better than this. I really wanted to do this properly. I really wanted to make it a success, and I've got Joe sitting there and he won't eat anything, so he's going to starve to death. Paul shouts when Joe doesn't eat. All the children don't like it when Paul shouts. I have a go at him, he has a go at me. We're all sat round the table, all on top of each other. I've produced something I wouldn't give to a pig. All right, Joe. You all right? Have you eaten something now? Yeah. What have you had to eat? You just had some bread and cheese. This child's been living on bread and cheese. Probably scaring the neighbours. Scared myself.
Mum and Dad have been talking, shouting a lot at each other because they can't work things out. And we're relying on them, and they should understand that. If they don't grow up, they don't just grow up, then I don't know what we're going to do.
While Joyce goes out for a long walk to cool off, the twins attempt to rescue the birthday cake using a Victorian recipe for chocolate icing.
Yeah, it is awful. Everything's going wrong. I didn't think it would be like this, though. I didn't think Mum would break down. Oh, it's just not... It's not working out, but... It's not brilliant anymore, really. Also, Dad as well. Dad's... he's just...
He's got so bossy.
This is just getting on top of him. It's really getting on top of him.
That is all yours. I've got it.
The chickens Paul ordered for Joyce's birthday have arrived, but they need a safe place to live.
I think I've just fallen into a pile of poo, Joe. Just give us that.
Paul must build them a hen house. Keeping chickens was also popular in suburbs in the States, as eggs were expensive, 22 cents a dozen.
I've got worms here. They're chickens.
While out walking, Joyce drops in to see Charlie Judd, the greengrocer. She can't have everything in the shop. She's limited to English springtime produce and imported fruit brought in refrigerated steamships.
today's Joyce, you can have your beetroots, your cabbages, carrots, watercress, your onions and swede, and the cauliflower is one of my father.
Yeah.
You know, going around the streets. He progressed from a pram to a donkey and barrow to horse and cart. He must have been the business years ago when he was...
Look at the decorations on that horse.
That's how they went out, you know what I mean?
It looks a fine sight, I think.
At least he's sober in that picture.
Joyce, she's coming down the street. Quick, we've got to get to her. She's coming down the street.
That's it.
In we go then, go on. Off you go. Go on. Come on, here we go. Come on. Here's your welcome tin.
Whoa, he's a big one.
Yeah, he is.
Whoa! Ah!
Oh, there he goes.
Quite right. Oh, Mum, I need to give you my birthday present. Come out.
Step down now. Okay. Go up, to the right now. Bit more. Hello, just go.
I'm not looking.
Keep going. I'm just going to have to keep your eyes closed.
I am,
Right, you're going to step up.
Oh, what am I doing? Open your eyes.
Ready?
Chickens. No, my God, you've been busy.
You've dug the...
Oh, and I was so horrible to you this morning.
Come here. Let me pick you up.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mum.
The chickens were fantastic because Dad worked so hard on the chicken house. Mum was really proud of him, and we all were, with Joe as well, that, you know, he managed to keep this all secret.
It's all right. It's all right.
You can call her McDonald, Mum, and we can eat her after you finish.
I think I'll name him after the greengrocer because he's so nice. So he's Charlie. I hope he doesn't mind. Never mind. Charlie, that's the cockerel.
It's all right.
She's a good lamb.
Look at the little beady eyes.
The stresses of the morning are forgotten.
I'm only 11 and I've got more things to come. But to do this now is fantastic.
Close your eyes.
It's the best thing that's ever happened to me. I love it.
Oh, lovely. Oh, isn't it beautiful?
Wow.
I think we are more of a family together now because in 1999 you could go off and do things, whereas we have to work as a team now.
Oh, so if we have leftover porridge, shall I eat that?
Yeah.
We didn't realise our children were quite this confident or this resourceful. I've just seen them in a completely different light, and I think they're going to grow up a lot in the 3 months. I think I might have to grow up a bit as well.
It's been 5 days now, 6 days since I've been shaving my face. I look like I've been having a fight with a cat, but I am getting better at it and I'm getting slightly quicker. But I made a few mistakes at the beginning, which I'm paying for now because every time I have a shave, I'm reintroducing the cut to my face and it's not healing properly. I think this is my Achilles heel when it comes to trying to stay true to the 1900 experience.
Joyce is gathering up clothes for her first Victorian wash day. Until late in the 19th century, most middle-class women sent their washing out. But many began to fear diseases like cholera and TB were spreading in the local laundries. So families began to do their washing at home.
Oh, God. I think we'll soak some of these. These are the worst. Right. Can you wash mine, Archie?
Yours in there?
Don't think so.
Every stage of the wash has to be done by hand. These clothes have been soaked overnight.
Oh, look at the colour of the water already.
More than 40 years before the advent of washing detergents, clothes were soaked in soda crystals dissolved in boiling water. The solution broke down greasy stains but was very tough on fabrics. Joyce and the twins get the main wash going. First, water is brought to a boil in the copper, a large metal tub built into the scullery over a coal fire.
Today the twins have taken a day off school, which I disapprove of really, but I'm sure it must have been done loads in the past. In fact, I know it was done in my parents' day even, to help with the washing, literally, because it's such a big job that for one person it would have been far too much. If I can afford a maid-of-all-work, then my daughters can go to school on a Monday. But I'm sure schools must have been empty of girls, really, on Mondays, mustn't they?
With wash day underway, Paul escapes to work. On his way, he returns to the barber shop for a brush-up lesson on shaving with the straight-edge razor.
Forgotten the hand movement we did to turn the blade to do that side of the face, yeah. And obviously, because we've talked about having a moustache, we didn't cover how to do the top lip.
Right.
So I've actually been making it up,
Right.
would you believe?
Yeah.
Yeah, to try and give myself a reasonably close shave.
Yeah.
Isn't it, to get it clean?
When the copper is boiling, in go Lux soap flakes, which had just gone on sale in 1900.
Oh, it smells nice, doesn't it?
Forget that wash. Forget that washed.
Right.
Before. In it goes.
Right. Oh dear, look at that. I don't know.
In it goes.
Let's get it in.
Oh, I'll get this. Let me have a go.
And for stains too stubborn even for soda crystals and soap flakes, the only solution is elbow grease.
I think this is definitely an all-day job. Probably from 5 or 6 in the morning until it got dark.
I have been shaving, but I've been able to shave about 2 or 3 times.
So they actually really made the blade really sharp,
Mm.
and then they got a real good close shave like you're going to get today.
Places to wash.
Next comes the dolly stick, the 1900 equivalent of a revolving washing drum, which with lots of sweat agitates the clothes.
That's useless.
Big. And you're meant to bring it up and down and
You'd
do
have to
that.
stand on there to do that.
Yeah.
I don't think that's safe.
And then the rinse, followed by a very manual first spin. In 1900, it took around 12 hours to achieve what a washing machine manages in a 40-minute cycle.
I am getting a raw deal. As the female, I have much more to put up with.
Right, I'm just going to put some coral skin food on for you.
He started saying he didn't know how to shave and wasn't it sad and oh dear he cut his face, and he was given all sorts of things, beautifully perfumed lotions and potions to put on his face and enable him to have a smooth shave. Just keep going, go. As long as it's got it.
I'm going to ask for a surprise for my birthday, which is on the 8th of April. I'm coming for a haircut and a shave, how about that?
Mind you, we're feeling very pleased with ourselves and we've hardly washed a thing.
I don't mean to have a go at Paul, really, but it's the male thing, isn't it? I'm the one that's coming off worse.
You made a good start.
No, it's been baptism of fire for me. It sounds like I'm jealous, and I am jealous. I am jealous that he walks out of the door and goes to work. And I suppose I'm jealous because he's a man, and whether it's 1900 or 1999, he gets the better deal. But I get the frillier draws. My hands are pretty awful, especially after wash day and have been washing in the soda crystals. They're very dry and very sore all the time.
A week into the experiment, Joyce's skin has been stripped of all its natural oils by soda crystals and hot water. Most 1900 remedies would have been made from whale blubber, which is illegal today. But Daru Rook has sent an alternative recipe using white wax and glycerin.
Complexions finer than Cleopatra of old. So we need to pop the white wax into the pan with the almond oil. Right, stir that all together. Ooh, oh my goodness, what's happened? Keep going.
Victorian women made their own cosmetics. Although cold cream was available in the shops in 1900, it was expensive.
Oh, lovely. It's lovely, isn't it? Perhaps when it cools.
Maybe.
It's really cream, isn't it, Mum? Here we go.
Modern moisturizers feel lighter and are absorbed more quickly, but the wax mixture does a similar, if cruder, job.
Try and rub it in. It smells like something you might rub into an old horse.
It's like a bar of lard on your face. Oh no.
Wash day is over, but the laundry is still not finished. For the 1900 woman, washing and ironing took up to 3 full days every week, and that was just for the undergarments and linen. Outer clothes, like dresses and trousers, were only brushed down.
I think people must have smelt different in Victorian times. I think they probably had a higher level of tolerance, and they expected certain body odours that we shy away from. They obviously didn't douse themselves in deodorant. Actually, I don't smell, it's the clothes that smell. If I meet people from outside, they smell like they're covered in extremely strong perfumes. And I think it's just probably the soap powders and the fabric conditioners and things that are coming off their clothes.
The bowlers can live without some things, but they cannot go without hot water, and they haven't had any for a week. The range is still not working properly. Heating engineer Mike Bishop is called back in.
I think this has really brought home to us the fact that this is the heart of the home, but it's just so important that we get this right.
Oh, yeah.
Everything else just seems to, come...
Anything else, but if you can't have the cooking and the hot water...
Yeah.
Mike takes radical action. In ranges like these, back boilers often got so hot they exploded. To avoid this, Mike had installed the boiler further back from the firebox. Now he's pulled it forward, hoping that more heat will get to the boiler.
I don't care how dirty it's got or how much muck I've got to clean up today. I just think if it gives us the end result, that's all I care about.
Made the repair, lit the fire. We should start to see the pipes getting warm again, and then hopefully they'll go from warm to hot to extremely hot.
I just wanted to come upstairs and sing Glory Hallelujah because we've got hot water in the pipes and it's only 11:30, so it's bloody marvellous. It's a bit decadent really having a midday bath. You've got to catch it before once the hot goes, it goes cold straight away. So now you've got to catch it and get in very quickly. Ooh, it's quite hot actually. Although Victorians said cleanliness was next to godliness, I don't think they bathed that often, and they weren't in favour of hot baths, not the way we are. But they must have enjoyed it just the way I am, because I mean, just to be able to get out of those clothes and to get into this water is just fantastic. Having said that, you must see the water. It's absolutely filthy, absolutely filthy.
To find out more about the Bowler family, time travel back to 1900 and beyond at pbs.org.
Look, I only walked to the greengrocer's. Look at those stockings. I want my money back.
These are stiff, aren't they? I've got loads of them.
There we go. Lovely. I hate to tell you this, but I think you've probably got to wear these again tomorrow.
Should we see if they're cheesy?
How do we...
Not too bad, we've got to take that off as well. There we go.
The 1900 House was made possible by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
This is PBS.